Good morning. Welcome to an absolutely satisfying Saturday. Let the weekend roll with a lot of learning at this beautiful hour at 5 a.m. And let's manifest our dreams and desires. So let's start with the Power of Dreams programming. Amazing. Welcome back. And today, in our wonderful book by Barbara Shell, which is namely Refuse to Choose, we're going to be talking about the backward flowchart. So, I'm not sure how many of you attempted to do it backward, but if you haven't attempted, today is a day. But I always say we should start simply and then see where the journey takes us. So, I'm not sure how many of you have. If you have attempted it, you can always write in the chat box. So, let's read about this morning's program, and that is about the backward programming. So this is let's take one page back. Yeah. So the last section in this is the backward planning flowchart, success teams, and real deadlines. So here we are. Now we can flip. So we can flip the page. Yes. This is my very own version of a flowchart, which I designed while preparing to run my very first workshops in 1975. It was one of the most popular parts of my first book, Wishcraft: How to Get What You Really Want, which is still selling well after 25 years, partly because of this flowchart. If you want a more detailed diagram, complete with little circles and lines, you can find the original backward planning flowchart in that book. I had found corporate flowcharts too hard to understand or use, aside from scratch by setting up a goal and asking myself, could I achieve that goal right now? If not, what would I need first? I kept drawing circles with goals written inside them and moving back to draw more circled goals, asking those same two questions each time, until I finally reached a step I could actually take immediately. Now, when I reached a goal I could do right away, I drew a big arrow pointing it at it now. The process got me out of my chair and actually taking steps. No mean trick, and I was very proud of myself for thinking of it. I was also very excited to think I had found a way to help everyone move from inertia or paralysis into action. I tried the backward planning flowchart out of the little team I put together and used an imaginary dinner party for practice. Okay, we're going to have a dinner party for 12 people. Can we do it tomorrow night? If not, what would we have to do first? We worked at a blackboard, noting how we'd first have to invite people to come. We'd need to buy and prepare the food. To take those steps, we'd need telephone numbers and to decide on the menu. It was great fun, so simple that anyone could do it. I could see it potentially quite powerful and I couldn't wait to use it. But when I actually introduced it in the first success team workshop way back in 76, the response was not what I expected. For some hours, the people in the workshop had been helping each other come up with fun ways to accomplish goals. There's a lot of laughter and the heady air of interesting possibilities everywhere. Everyone was having a good time and looked at me with expectant smiles to see what I had planned for them next. And as planned, I said, okay, let's make it real. I want you to set each a goal and the tentative date when you'll achieve it. Let's say you want to sing your first dot song on open mic night and local club in 3 months. Everyone listened with enthusiasm while I drew a circle at the far right corner of a chalkboard. To show up that club and sing, you need a couple of things, I continued. You need the permission of the owner of the club, and you need to know how to sing, correct? The audience looked interested and nodded their head. And as I drew line to two circles and wrote permission in one hand and able to sing in the other, now I continued. To get permission, you'd have to talk to the boss. And I drew another line attached to a circle. And to talk to the boss, you'd have to find a club. So I turned to the audience, can you find a club that has an open mic night? Most of the people nodded affirmative. Is there anything you have to do first, or can you do that tomorrow? It's pretty easy. You'll just look into yellow pages of the phone book, she says. Great, I said. Then this line is done. You've got a step you can take tomorrow. Now let's go back to the beginning and look at the second thing you'd need to actually perform at this club to be able to sing. In the same way, moving backward to first step, I drew out the path to being able to sing a couple of songs, including getting a singing coach and choosing the songs. When I was finished, they looked at me as though I was a very clever person and I felt pretty good about my invention. I told them each to draw a circle, the same kind of backward planning flowchart, full of circles and lines for their own goals, and I gave them about 25 minutes to give it a try. Now, as they picked up their pens and started to work, I turned away and began looking through my notes. A few minutes had passed when I sensed an odd change in the room. I turned around to look at the people as they worked on the sheets of paper, and I realized no one was laughing or smiling anymore. They weren't writing either. I watched for a minute, then I said, is something wrong? Everyone looked at me with such worry in the eyes that I felt terrible. Finally, one woman raised her hand and said, this isn't fun anymore, it's getting scary. Everyone nodded in agreement. I realized she was right. What I thought was a rather clever transition from wishing to actually transform, achieving a dream, a kind of magic moment of transformation, was actually too powerful. It forced action where everyone had been playing. I didn't want to lose the great momentum that had been building, so I immediately told some stories to make them laugh and shake the tension. Then I put them into teams of 6 and set up nightly phone calls and weekly meetings with each other. And when they felt safer, I showed them some ways to make their first step so tiny and non threatening that they stopped being afraid. You'll notice I didn't suggest any positive thinking because I don't think it's reliable. As I said in chapter 3, scanner panic, and you can't hear too often. If you want to lower your fear level, lower the danger level. Once they saw how small those steps were and understood they'd have supported every step from the teammates, they stopped being worried. By the end of the workshop, they were again excited about their ideas and looking forward to meeting with their new buddies. I got threatening letters, heartening letters about the great accomplishments those original success teams produced for years after their workshop. But I never forgot what I learned that day. Scheduling any kind of action is a change of universes from writing lists and making plans. It's never a small matter, and it's always a jolt to one system. To keep moving, you may need techniques and tools. For example, always have a target date for each part of your goal. A calendar without deadlines is exactly like playing tennis without a net. Excuse me. You might ignore a target date that no one knows, but you know about. Support. Support combined with accountability creates a real deadline. This letter from a scanner says it nicely. Something that I had not realized before is that support gets us past resistance. I have been so isolated. I'm realizing that my ups and downs really seem to depend on whether or not I have a support system. I think structure is the key to why I like work. The paycheck is kind of built and motivated to focus me, and the boss is a support system I have to get to work. I also loved the period when I was going to school full time, and I think a major reason is that I had appointments, deadlines, and a great support system at that time. My best friend had also quit work and was going back to school. And we'd walk to school together, cheer each other, and take classes together. Also, in my biology class, I got involved in study group. What a marvelous thing that met at my house and was, of course, a great support system. Do you have that kind of support in your life? So, all of us, the very idea that now we are going to come into action with a backward list, let's see the kind of support system we have. Every time I see someone who can't move, I find out he's trying to put the whole plan off all by himself. That's not how we are designed. On our own, we often opt to avoid any kind of action. And we play tricks on ourselves so we don't realize what we're doing. Isolation is a dream killer. It will stop you every time. Those workshops I described were designed to create success teams. They were and are to this day extraordinarily successful. When it comes to actually making dreams come true, nothing compares with having a weekly meeting and a team on your side. If you can't find or create a team, get a single buddy or hire a coach and set up regular meetings. Knowing they're waiting to hear from you will lower your anxiety and make you get into action. While you're at it, don't underestimate the power of your appointment planner. That's the tool in which you write your dentist appointments, and if you didn't, you'd never go to the dentist. Write in every appointment with your coach or teammate. You'll be motivated to remember what you're supposed to do because other people will be waiting for your report. I told you the story of that early workshop for three reasons. First, because the backward planning flowchart is such a hugely useful tool, telling a story is a great way to teach it to you. Secondly, because you might be avoiding action without realizing it. And the backward planning flowchart will shine the light of that day on your hidden fears. Nothing will flush a boogeyman out of the shadows like a round of backward planning. And third, I want you to realize that the prospect of imminent action, making real deadlines with your success team, will reveal any of your fears. Talking about them gets you nowhere, but action makes them melt away. So I don't know how many of us has taken back, but when we start from the day we want to actually achieve it, what is our goal? And one step before that, one step before that, one step before that, or many, many steps before, then we start putting in a sheet and we say, okay, this person will handle this person will handle this. And when we know, okay, oh, that person will handle this, okay, that person is a part of my core team. And then I get them into confidence, say, this is the project and this is what our role is. And when I brief all those three, four, five people that, okay, this is where we are leading and I will need your support here, do they happily come on board? Are we together? Akele mein, many things don't work. Why? Because we tend to lose momentum. Initially, we're too excited. We launch, and then we just stop somewhere because the excitement has gone, the thrill has gone, the apprehensions come, and the fear has come. So here we are trying to understand the support system is very important. Accountability is very important, but accountability to oneself is not as important. Why? Because we lose our integrity. अपने आप से तो हम बोल सकते हैं ना कि नहीं हुआ, it's a failure, whatever. दूसरे के सामने एक मोटिव नहीं, you can do it. So it's very important to have a support system. It's very important to have a backward planning flow chart which can show us what are your fears. Okay, this is my fear. Okay, this is what I'll do to get out of my fear zone. So very important to understand this particular part. Now let's talk about getting unstuck. So just as an experiment, draw a plan that moves backwards from the grow until you get to the steps you can do tomorrow, no matter how small they may be. And while you do it, pay careful attention to how you feel. Are you enjoying the first stirrings of getting unstuck? Or can you feel yourself starting to freeze in your tracks? That's what happened to Lane. In our session, she decided to practice action by selecting her recycling goal. I'm not sure this is really the project I choose to do first, she explained, but I see that I have to choose something or there's no way to get started at all. The following week, she spent about 3 or 4 lunch hours and evenings at home after work on the internet, finding out everything she could about local recycling and took careful notes. At the next session, she said, I almost made a PowerPoint presentation to make myself feel respectable, but realized I do just as well with notes on a pad of paper, and if I could create a better mood when I presented it. She had also gathered together the phone numbers of some of the people she had worked with as volunteer in her town's recycling program, looking in her calendar for available time, and scheduled a tentative date for a meeting at her home. She showed me all her notes. That's impressive, I said. You're good to go. I don't know. I'm having serious doubts about this project. Why? I asked. Maybe it's not as important to me as I thought, she answered, not looking at me. Do you think there's anything you're afraid of? Of course not. We are not talking about skydiving, but gathering some people at my house to talk, she said empathetically. I nodded agreement. And you'll be calling the meeting, so I guess you're open by explaining what it's all about. Well, yes. They might have already come up with an idea for this. I feel a little silly if I don't know about it. I'd better do some checking around first. I don't think I even care about recycling. Did you see? She says, I don't think I even care about recycling. Why? Why did she say that? Because all of a sudden she's thinking, what will the people say? And they probably know more than me, and I don't know so much. And that fear, that apprehension of people, what will they say? And that has become more important than her goal. That's what happens to all of us. We are gripped by this bimari, log kya kahenge, re, log. And that's when our goals get slipped out. So Barbara says, that was sudden. What uncomfortable moment did you just imagine, Lane? I imagined these people looking at me like I was an idiot. I really don't know how people all that well, but they look very capable. How do I know I am capable? So self doubt. Hello, are you kidding? You know perfectly well how capable you are. You've told me to a number of times yourself. She looked at me with a small, ironic smile on her face. I am scared. I'm the new kid on the block. Maybe they'll snub me in some awful way. Oh boy, I never realized that. So Barbara says, is it a difficult bunch of people or a closed club? Not at all. They're very nice, welcoming people. It's one of the reasons I've been so active in the recycling program. I just got some kind of flashback to my childhood, I guess. So go figure, me, afraid. And she looked much more relaxed. I think I'll call one of them to help me with a plan. If we're going together, I'll have to do it like when my friend showed up at my door to go jogging. Now, Lane had worked through all three of the magic steps. First, she used a backward planning flowchart to identify the first steps. This got her so close to action, her fears were exposed, and she saw what the fears were, and she reduced the danger by tackling the fear, by having a exit plan for the fear. And now she came up with a third surefire way to stop being stuck. She decided to hook up with a buddy to support and to reach the accountability of the real deadlines. Did you see that lady all of a sudden? She went ki nahi to bakwas hai, log bolenge you're so dumb, this, that. But the minute she was reminded that, you are smart, you've talked about this yourself, and, people are welcoming, all her apprehensions were sorted out by somebody else, which is the reason, let's understand that people who understand us in that particular goal. Now, it doesn't have to be a soulmate, a best friend, or a child, or a spouse, anybody who's in alignment with that particular project of yours. Pick up the right partnership, not because everyone will not know everything. Today, somebody's aces is something, somebody aces something. Pick up the right partner who can motivate you, guide you, and be there with you, and also hold you accountable. Very important to understand that part about our goals and our deadlines. Now, ending the great debate with reality research. If you find that you still have a need to the what if routine, this what if is what kills. Now, we talked about what if in detail day before. What if this doesn't happen? What if that doesn't happen? This what if means we are becoming procrastinators, toilers, and deep thinkers. In fact, I would say shallow thinkers because we're just making a mountain out of a molehill. Kuch bhi nahi hai, and we're thinking so much. Now, what if agar dobara life mein aa jaye and you can't talk yourself out of it? Here's a way to bring in the kind of data to turn your analyzing into something very useful. I call it reality research. Instead of wondering if your idea is a good one or a bad one and going around in circles with an internal debate that can't be resolved, go after some real answers like the great scanner Ben Franklin was so fond of doing. He knew he could only get so much information about electricity by thinking about it or reading about it. Finally, he had to go out into a storm and fly his kite. While I don't suggest that you spend your time in a thunderstorm, I do advise you to follow Franklin's style of finding things by stepping out from the desk and out in the world with reality research. You can wonder forever how many teeth a horse has, or you can find a horse, open its mouth, and count its teeth. Here's how reality research works. Let's say your inner risk analyst presents you with this question: what if I write a book and no one likes it? Now, instead of using that question for a stop sign, follow it with this one: what's the best way to get the answer to that question? And go get some answers. That's it, plain and simple. If you make it a habit to ask one question, you'll be in action, and not the reckless jump off a cliff kind of action you're too wise to follow, but the kind of action that brings in real answers. To continue our example, let's say the answer is try to find out if people like it by showing them a sample. Now, that's a very big answer. To show a sample of your work to people, you need a chapter of the book you haven't written. To create even one chapter and show it to someone requires writing up a table of contents and the description of what you'll be saying in your book. Combined with the chapter, that will be a very good thing to show people so you can find out if they like it. I do it all the time, in fact. What I just described is also called a book proposal. To answer the question, what's the best way to get the answer? Requires action. There's no way to think it into being, and action has magic in it. Try it with your own project. Get yourself a tight deadline, pull in a friend to lower the danger level, and keep you honest and maybe to help. Then create enough of your ideas so you can show it to more people. Will that give you a surefire answer? No, but it'll get your project out of your ditch and back on the highway where you actually get started. And that's what you were there for, remember? And that's the whole secret. That's all you need to go from planning to getting started, doing anything you want to do. Now let's try a quick run through, shall we? Pick one practice goal right this minute. So all of you, if you want, you can do it. Let's do it simultaneously if you wish. Maybe you can use your mobile phones, maybe your writing pads, maybe your journals, or maybe keep in your mind what works. I feel it's always nice to do this thing, but you decide. So pick one practice goal right this minute. Now, what is your practice goal? जब आपको practice करना, you reach your final goal. And create a backward planning flow chart and put a tentative target date for completion of the steps over each circle. Check to see if you have any holes in the flow chart, missing steps or lack of information or fears that might stop you. बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है बैकवर्ड फ्लो चार्ट में फियर्स को आउटलाइन करना. मुझे ये डर किस बात का है, जरा खत्म कैसे होगा? ओके, ये करूंगे तो खत्म हो जाएगा. पूरा फ्लो चार्ट ऐसे तो आएगा ही आपका बैकवर्ड प्लानिंग का, साइमल्टेनियसली साइड में भी जाएगा, जहां आप अपने डरों के आगे जीत करने के लिए ढूंढोगे कि व्हाट कैन आई डू टू रिलीज माय फियर. If so, do your reality research and get some answers. Very important, this last second point is get a buddy or other support team to check on your real deadlines regularly. अगर आपने deadline में बोला है 10th of January, 1 month today, this is what I should have done, there should be some person to ask you around 30th, 31st of December, बस 10 दिन बचे कहाँ पहुंचे, so that अगर आप lack भी कर रहे हो तो 10 days में you can make up. And finally, you take the first step. First step of realizing your dream by doing that little thing backward planning. Okay, this is what I do first. For example, अगर हमको एक माइक पे गाना गाना है 3 महीने में, first step क्या है? To get a person to teach us how to sing. Meanwhile, to find the place where I want to sing, get the permission. So एक last goal हो गया, एक middle goal हो गया, एक front goal हो गया. Last में क्या है? Prep up, go to the place in time, be there ready, be before in time, gauge the audience, right? Many more things. So you might be surprised at what comes of this little test run. You could actually turn one of your dreams into reality just like that. Whether or not that happens, I can guarantee you that going after a practice goal by taking real small steps will change the way you look at your action forever. And it will change more than just your viewpoint. It will change you too. You'll become very self-conscious to let yourself get away with your what if games which are going on without real answers. ये जो what ifs होते हैं ना, ये लाइफ में इतनी रुकावटें डालते हैं ना, because this is the problem. What if? अच्छा नहीं, छोड़ देते हैं, नहीं होगा, पहले से ही हताश हो जाते हैं, because that what if is like the biggest doubt in our life. और जब हम ये backward planning try करते हैं, it will expose us to two mysteries that we often have stopped us in the path. Why is it so hard to get started? अरे शुरू तो करते हैं, let's simply start ना, देखते हैं कहाँ जाएंगे. And how to get started anyway. Two facts. The night of Lane's meeting, I got a call from her. She had teamed up with one of the women she knew best. And together they had prepared their list of phone numbers and a calling script to get them through the first awkward moments of each call. Between them, they called everyone on the list. They're coming over tonight, Lane said, and I'm nervous. They might think my idea is stupid, but they are good people. Maybe they won't. The woman who helped me has become a friend and she'll be there. So I've lowered that danger level as much as I can. Good for you, Lane, I said. Going from wishes to action is a big move. It can be very intimidating. Yes, it's a little scary, but you forgot to tell me one thing. What's that? I asked. That it's exciting to finally get moving. You know, something is going to happen. Now, here is where the promise of a beautiful future will happen. कि देखते हैं, I mean, जाना तो इस गली में, let's see अब क्या होता है. पर इसके लिए अगर बड़ा ड्रीम है, बड़ा गोल है, what we must understand is कि हमने backward flowchart बना लिया, सब fears को address कर लिया, plan B, plan C बना लिया कि this person will help me here, this person will help me here. अब हम साथ में ये करेंगे या मैं अकेले ही करूंगी. पर उसके लिए सबसे important सीख क्या है हमारी? Start small, start now. So the moral is start small but start now. So like the way my coach Rahul Jain, business coach, he says, simply start घटिया. He says बुराई शुरू कर दो, but शुरू कर दो. इतना मत सोचो, बस शुरू कर दो. बकवास होगा ना, हो जाएगा, but शुरू करो. That's what the same book is saying. Start small, smart, start now. Move back to the first steps. Contact a buddy or set up a team and start taking your first small steps. And that's the hardest part. Once you become unstuck, no matter how slowly you move at first, the hard part is over. Now, with the support and accountability you'll get from a buddy or a team, you'll be able to take bigger actions. Make a call, show up at a meeting, write a letter, even make a speech. Once you get into motion, everything changes. Now, let's take a look at scanners who might have no trouble getting started on a new project. They start projects all the time. They just don't seem to finish any of them. ये हम कल पढ़ने वाले हैं. आज मुझे आप बताएं, how many of you are promising कि आपके dreams जो भी हैं, उसके लिए आप backward flowchart बनाएंगे? There has been no discussion on that, and I don't see anybody who's tried it. अब हमें पता है, so are we looking at doing it? Yeah, thank you, Akshay. Thank you for your promise. It's a beautiful word, and I love it. Thank you, Richa. Thank you, Ruchi. Thank you, Vijay. Very important for us to know कि हम पढ़ रहे हैं, उसको immediately implement करना है, immediately, without thinking too much. Also, that's it for today. We'll move on to our Swan Salutations. So and I just see 5 or 6, Pratima ji, thank you so much. चाहे छोटे ही goals हो, उनको भी breakup करें, उससे ना muscle power बढ़ती है of confidence कि yes, I can do it. मैंने ये कर लिया, तब तो start in fact with smaller little things जो आपको लगता है कि नहीं possible है, but फिर भी possible. Start with that. Thank you, Meenakshi. Let's take a blessing from the sun.
The Surya Namaskar with mantras. Om Mitraye Namaha. Om Ravaye Namaha. Om Suryaye Namaha. Om Bhanave Namaha. Om Khagaye Namaha. Om Pushne Namaha. Om Hiranyagarbhaye Namaha. Om Marichaye Namaha. Om Adityaye Namaha. Om Savitre Namaha. Om Arkaye Namaha. Om Bhaskaraye Namaha. Salutations to the universal friend. Salutations to the resplendent sun. Salutations to the energy that induces activity within us. Salutations to the one who illumines. Salutations to the sun moving across the sky. Salutations to the giver of strength. Salutations to the golden cosmic self. Salutations to the Lord of the dawn. Salutations to the son of Aditi, the cosmic mother. Salutations to the benevolent mother. Salutations to the energy that we praise, and to the one who guides us to salvation. The sun salutation now with the names of the postures, both in Sanskrit and English. Pranamasan, Hastuthanasan, Madhastasan, left leg back, Ashwasanchalanasan, Parvatasan, and hold this position. And now slowly progressing into the deeper version of Parvatasan, Adho Mukh Shvanasan. Ashtang Namaskar. Bhujangasan. Parvatasan. Left forward, Ashwasanchalanasan. Padahastasan. Hastuthanasan. Pranamasan. On the right side, prayer position, raised arms pose, hand to feet pose, right leg back, equestrian pose, mountain pose, hold mountain pose, and slowly moving into the deeper version of mountain, the downward facing dog. Salute with 8 limbs. Cobra. Press back to mountain. Right forward, equestrian pose. Hand to feet pose. Raised arms position. Prayer pose. One round of the sun salutation with awareness on the breathing. So exhaling our hands to the chest, pranam. Inhaling as we bend back. We exhale as we fold forward. Left leg back, inhale as we're arching back. Exhale into the forward. Hold the breath for knees, chest, chin. Inhale as we arch back. Exhale into the forward. Left leg forward, inhale. This is a back bend. Exhale whenever we bend forward. Inhale as we bend back. Exhale, hands to the chest. And on the right, deep breathing. Exhale. A deep inhale. A long exhale. Right leg back with an inhale. And exhale. Hold the breath. Inhale and exhale. Right leg forward with a deep inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale.
Important to have self-analysis. Okay. Yes. So welcome back to our Letting Go book. Very, very important to understand that this book is going to make us understand how are we relating to ourselves. The very basic rule of the mother universe, the psychic universe, is about love. When love promotes love, when the person around all of us and the person within us is away from negativity, realizing that I have to live in a grateful world, has to criticize less, has to start observing his or her vibrations, and has to understand that, I have empathy, compassion for myself and people around me. And if I have abundant mindset, and if I trust the process of life, everything becomes easy. Yesterday, we probably looked at ourselves, how we are resonating and what frequency we're resonating. Now, let's understand the mechanism of letting go. Letting go involves being aware of a feeling, letting it come up, staying with it, and letting it run its course without wanting to make it different or do anything about it. It simply means to let the feeling be there. So, can you turn the page? I've moved on. And to focus on letting out the energy behind it. The first step is to allow yourself to have the feeling without resisting it, venting it, fearing it, condemning it, or moralizing about it. It means to simply drop judgment and to see that it is just a feeling. And this is very important. It's supposed to be marked also because this is what is happening. पहला स्टेप हमें यही लेना है, अपने आप को परमिशन देनी है कि ऑल राइट, मैं रेजिस्ट कर रहा हूँ या मैं इसको अपना फ्रस्ट्रेशन में निकाल रहा हूँ या मुझे डर लग रहा है या मैं क्रिटिसाइज कर रहा हूँ या मैं मॉरल ग्राउंड्स पे जा रहा हूँ. दैट मीन्स मैं जजमेंट दे रहा हूँ, कोई ना कोई ओपिनियन रख रहा हूँ. आई एम बीइंग ओपिनियटेड. द प्रॉब्लम विद ऑल ऑफ अस ह्यूमन बीइंग्स आर, हम ओपिनियंस बहुत जल्दी फॉर्म करते हैं, लेबल्स में बहुत जल्दी डालते हैं लोगों को और अपने आप को. So we should drop judgment, we should drop labeling, and we should realize that it's just a feeling, and feelings can be changed very easily. The technique is to be with the feeling and surrender all efforts to modify it in any way. Do we understand the meaning? Feeling के साथ रहें, उसको बदलने की जरूरत नहीं है at the moment. Though it's not very tough to change it, but at the moment, surrendering के लिए, accepting the feeling as it is. Let go of wanting to resist the feeling. जिन लोगों ने मेरे साथ ग्रेटेस्ट सीक्रेट करी थी, वेलकमिंग, इफ यू रिमेंबर, दिस वाज ऑन दिस कॉन्सेप्ट. Rhonda Byrne taught us to welcome the feeling. This is what we have been learning, कि अगर कोई feeling है, so stay with that feeling. Let go of wanting to resist the feeling. It is a resistance that keeps the feeling going. अगर मैं resistance दिया, तो हमने उसको कुछ importance दी ना feeling को. एक अनवांटेड मेहमान आपके घर पे रह रहा है, आप उसको अटेंशन दे ही नहीं रहे हो, तो कब तक वो रहेगा? He'll say I'm unwanted, he'll go away. पर उस मेहमान को आपने डांट भी दिया, कुछ बोल भी दिया, कुछ कर भी दिया, तो दैट मेहमान नोस कि हाँ मेरी कोई वैल्यू है, आई एम बीइंग नोटिस्ड. सिमिलरली हमारी फीलिंग्स होती हैं. When you give up resisting or trying to modify the feeling, it will shift to the next feeling and be accompanied by a lighter sensation. That feeling of lightness will feel, it's okay, it's fine, it's fine. A feeling that is not resisted will disappear as the energy behind it dissipates. Now, as you begin the process, you will notice that you have fear and guilt over having feelings. There will be resistance to feelings in general. So, बहुत सारे लोग हैं हम लोग में जो फीलिंग्स को ही, अरे ये फीलिंग क्यों आ गई, अरे क्यों ऐसा फील कर रहा हूं मैं, अरे मुझे तो पता नहीं फील करना चाहिए, आई एम गिल्टी, या मुझे डर है कि मैं क्यों फील कर रहा हूँ, नहीं फील करना चाहिए. पता है ना, मुझे सोल्यूशन तो पता है, व्हाई एम आई बिहेविंग लाइक दिस? It's all right. We are all feeling beings. It's natural for the feelings to come. There will be resistance to feelings in general, but to let feelings come up, it's easy to let go of the reaction to having the feeling in the first place. हम reaction देना बंद करेंगे, हम respond करेंगे by accepting it. A fear of fear itself is a prime example of this. Let go of the fear or guilt that you will have about the feeling first and then get into the feeling itself. Anybody wants clarity on this? A fear of fear itself is a prime example of this. मुझे डर है कि ऐसा हो ना जाए, ऐसा हो गया तो प्रॉब्लम आ जाएगी. ये फीलिंग जो है कि मुझे डर है, we have to understand कि अगर आ भी रहा है तो ओके, डर है तो ठीक है, stay with the डर, don't change it into something, just accept it, but don't dwell on it, don't think too much about it. जब आएगा तब देखा जाएगा. When letting go, ignore all thoughts. Focus on the feeling itself, not on the thoughts. हमें कहाँ फीलिंग पे फोकस करना है? थॉट्स जो पीछे आती रहती है उनको नहीं तूल देनी है, क्योंकि थॉट्स तो एंडलेस है. 1 लाख थॉट्स आती है दिन में, एंड वो तो सेल्फ रीइंफोर्सिंग होती हैं. So they can only breed thoughts. Thoughts are merely rationalizations of the mind to try and explain the feeling of the feeling. Thoughts are merely rationalizations of the mind to try and explain the presence of the feelings. The real reason for the feeling is the accumulated pressure behind the feeling that is forcing it to come up at the moment. ये हो जाएगा, ये हो जाएगा, ये हो जाएगा, ये हो जाएगा, बहुत कुछ लिया हमने, इतना प्रेशर आ गया कि फाइनली वो फीलिंग हमारे समक्ष आ जाती है. Now the thoughts, external events are only an excuse made up in the mind. जो हमारे थॉट्स हैं, जो हमारे एक्सटर्नल इवेंट्स, जो भी चीजें हो रहा है, वो कैसे हो रहा है? हमने नोइंगली अननोइंगली मैनिफेस्ट किया है, सोचा है, तो वो हो रहा है बाहर, हमारे एक्सटर्नल इवेंट हो रहा है. थॉट्स आई हैं और सामने हो रहा है क्योंकि जाने अनजाने में हमने सोचा है. सो हमें क्या करना है? अवेयरनेस लानी है, कॉन्शियस अवेयर फीलिंग लानी है कि व्हाट आर माय फीलिंग. कि मेरी फीलिंग्स आ रही हैं तो पीछे थॉट्स आएंगी तो वो डेवलप होगा. As we become more familiar with letting go, it will be noticed that all negative feelings are associated with a basic fear related to survival. And all feelings are merely survival programs that the mind believes about it. It means simply to let the feeling be there and to focus on letting out the energy behind it. So we have turned the page already. I'm on second line. Please be with me. The first step is to allow yourself to have the feeling without resisting it, venting it, fearing it, condemning it, or moralizing about. So we have not turned the page. 2 बार scan हुआ है. 19 is again and again coming. Yes. No, what is happening? Why is the page 19 everywhere? The first thing is about it. Yeah, I don't know why is it showing 19. Just go back one page, sir. Okay. So we were all right. One more. Okay. So last line, let's read once again. As you become more familiar with letting go, it will be noticed that all negative feelings are associated with a basic fear related to survival, and that all feelings are merely survival programs and the mind believes are necessary. The letting go technique undoes the programs progressively. Through that process, the underlying motive behind the feelings becomes more and more apparent. To be surrendered means to have no strong emotion about a thing. So letting go technique में क्या करना है हमें? We simply have to accept the feeling as it is, not think too much about it. अब हमारा अंडरलाइंग मोटिव क्या है वो फीलिंग्स के बारे में, वो सामने आ जाएगा कि ओके मुझे इस चीज का डर है, और वर्स से वर्स क्या होगा, अपने आप को क्वेश्चन करना है कि वर्स से वर्स क्या होगा. एंड देन फाइनली जब हम सरेंडर करेंगे तो उसके लिए हमें क्या करना है? टू बी सरेंडर्ड मीन्स टू हैव नो स्ट्रॉन्ग इमोशन अबाउट अ थिंग. It's okay if it happens, and it's okay if it doesn't. When we are free, there is a letting go of attachments. We can enjoy a thing and we don't need it for our happiness. Now, this is the real beauty. कि हो गया तो बहुत अच्छा है, नहीं हुआ तो it's all right. बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग फीलिंग नहीं कि नहीं हुआ तो मैं तो मर जाऊंगा, नहीं हुआ तो ऐसा हो जाएगा, नहीं हुआ तो मैं तो बर्दाश्त नहीं कर पाऊंगा, नहीं हुआ तो ऐसा वैसा. तो स्ट्रॉन्ग या हो जाएगा, होना ही पड़ेगा, नहीं तो होना ही पड़ेगा. डेस्परेशन जहाँ होती है ना, वहां प्रॉब्लम आती है. So letting go का मतलब we are comfortable at any point anywhere. It's not like we don't have ambitions. We do have ambitions, but we are still comfortable कि हमारी ambition अगर fulfill नहीं हुई, कुछ तो होगा ना अच्छा. तो accept the process of life. There is a progressive diminishing of dependence on anything or anyone outside of ourselves. अपने आप इस जेनरिक है, खत्म होगा ही होगा. डिपेंडेंसी खत्म होगी ही होगी किसी थॉट के ऊपर. हम अपने ऊपर एक पॉइंट आएंगे where we will be very comfortable कि yes this can happen, I am comfortable. These principles are in accord with the basic teaching of the Buddha, who says, avoid attachment to the worldly phenomena, as well as the basic teaching of Jesus Christ to be in the world but not of it. हम इस दुनिया में रह रहे हैं. When we become too attached to something, it becomes tough to stay without it. So, little detachment. नहीं हुआ तो it's okay. हुआ तो very good. Now, sometimes we surrender a feeling and we notice it returns or continues. आप बोलोगे अरे अभी तो छोड़ा यार, वापस ही feeling आ गई. वापस आ गई because it's teaching you a lesson. You haven't learned the lesson. So the pattern will repeat itself. So again, go back to it. Now you have to understand कि feeling आई है because lesson भी सीखना है and अभी let go भी करना है. क्योंकि मैंने अभी कुछ बचा है. We are not masters ना कि एक बार में किया let go हो गया and it's all gone. What if it comes back? Again let go. It comes back, again let go. Keep working on it until you actually feel light. This is because there is no, it's not very difficult. अगर हम अपने आप को बोलेंगे कि बहुत difficult है तो difficult लगेगा ही लगेगा. But हम बोलेंगे yes, we are trying, we are willing. सबसे important word हमको समझना चाहिए in our life कि हमारी मंशा है कि are we willing to do it? या हमने अपने आप को स्टक अप कर लिया कि अरे भाई बहुत मुश्किल है, मुझसे तो नहीं होता. या I'm willing to try once again. Try until I succeed. I know मैं बहुत बार फेल हो चुका हूँ, but इस बार मैं फिर ट्राई कर रहा हूँ. And I know कभी तो सक्सेसफुल होऊंगा. अगर मैं ऐसा सोच के करता हूँ कुछ तो उतना मुश्किल नहीं होता. अगर मैं बोलता हूँ नहीं, it's very difficult, so it is. Let go करना इतना टफ नहीं है. I've gone through it. I'm saying it with practice. Time लगता है, but you are like there. I'll give you a personal example. When I lost my brother, so my dad was saying बहुत बुरी हालत है, बहुत बुरी हालत है, बहुत बुरी हालत है. And my Gigi was saying नहीं, it's getting better, it's getting better, it's getting better. I was doing my Mahamrityunjaya part for my brother very nicely. I remember one day in front of the mandir, I just dropped it. I said, let him go. If he has to go, let him go. जबकि कुछ पता नहीं था कि वो जाने वाला है कि नहीं जाने वाला है. We had no clue. I don't know how the words came up. I said, if he has to go, let him go. Let him not suffer so much. Papa saying he's so bad. Jaji saying so many tests are happening. Let him go. The day I said, let him go, the very next morning, he was no longer there. So I'm not saying that it's easy, but let it go से बहुत कुछ easy हो जाता है. Forget human lives. Even हमने आपने कई लोगों को ये शायद याद हो, we let go of a person's soul in second super sangha. Somebody's dadi or nani was suffering for many long time. As sangha, we gave energy and we said let it go, and she actually left the next morning. So it's about continuous effort, and that, yes, Richa, absolutely. Continuous effort which makes it happen. All we do is be at it. Easy नहीं होता सब कुछ life में, but difficult भी नहीं होता. It's about our perception. The thing of the feeling will come back and back and back if we don't let it go. So that's what we're doing ना. एक हमने 10% कम किया, 20 कम किया, 30 कम किया, 40 किया. Finally धीरे धीरे कम कर रहे हैं. If we have stuffed these feelings all of our lives and there can be a lot of energy pushed down, it needs to come up and be acknowledged. ऐसे बोलते ना जब पिंपल्स आने वाले होते हैं तो एक बार बहुत बढ़ के आता है, उसके बाद धीरे धीरे कम होता है. एक बार तो फुटाव आएगा ही ना किसी भी चीज में. आपने इतना दबाया हुआ इन फीलिंग्स को कि नहीं ऐसे नहीं हो सकता, ऐसे ही होता है, ऐसे ही होता है, ऐसे ही होता है. कंडीशनिंग कर लिया अपने आप को, बिलीव कर लिया. अब धीरे धीरे उसको ऊपर ला रहे हो, एक ही करके वो आ रहा है, उसको खत्म कर रहे हो, खत्म कर रहे हो, खत्म कर रहे हो, खत्म कर रहे हो, खत्म कर, तभी जाके तो भरोगे अपने आप को विद लव एंड लाइट. नाउ जब आपको हल्का सा भी हल्का लगे ना कि ओके आई हैव लेट गो, थैंक यू जरूर बोलना, एक्नॉलेज जरूर करना कि थैंक यू डियर यूनिवर्स एंड डियर बॉडी टू लेट दिस थिंग गो. आई एम फीलिंग लाइटर. जितना आप थैंक करेंगे, जितना आप एक्नॉलेज करेंगे, उतना आपकी जर्नी आगे बढ़ेगी. और अगर आप थैंकलेस रहेंगे, अरे अभी भी बहुत है, तो ये जो चला गया उसको तो थैंक यू बोलो कि अभी भी काफी कुछ चला गया, काफी कुछ बाकी है, बट थैंक यू टू व्हाट्स गॉन, एंड जो आगे भी है वो चला जाएगा. So for all of who find it difficult, this is one thing, acknowledge it. Now when surrender occurs, there is an immediate lighter, happier feeling, almost like a high. I'm feeling so good. एकदम से हल्का होने के बाद भी कैसे फील होता है ना, आपने एकदम से कुछ चीज छोड़ दी. इमेजिन करो अपने आप के लिए एक आपने 10 किलो का बैग अपने राइट शोल्डर पे ले रखा है ना, आपका राइट शोल्डर एनीवेज हर्ट कर रहा है, वो पहले बहुत बार उसको शोल्डर सामान रखा हुआ है. अब वो बैग को जब छोड़ोगे, हाउ डू यू फील? Does anybody know the feeling of being high when you've surrendered something completely? Try करके देखो, it feels liberating. You feel like you're ready to fly. Yeah, you'll be very, very, very relaxed. कभी करके देखो. And उसके बाद miracles देखो. अभी full moon पे भी हम let go करते हैं ना. I mean, we surrender completely, right? And फिर वो जब हो जाता है, like कैसे हो गया? Because आपने let go किया ना, आपने surrender किया. आप लोगों ने खुद ने प्रैक्टिस किया है फुल मून न्यू मून के रिचुअल्स, सो आपको इन अ वे पता है लेटिंग गो सरेंडर होता क्या है. अब हम डीपर साइंस में जा रहे हैं टू अंडरस्टैंड द इमोशंस. Even when even in Buddhism, like I'm going to Vipassana very soon, वहां पर भी just let your body go, just let it go, कुछ नहीं, just be with it at the present moment. By continuously letting go, it is possible to stay in that state of freedom. Feelings come and go, and eventually realize that you are not your feelings, but that's the real you is merely witnessing you. You stop identifying with them. The you that is observing and is aware of what is happening always stays the same. Except that what changes is your consciousness, your awareness. क्योंकि I'm the person पहले भी आज भी कल भी फीलिंग्स आ रही हैं और जा रही हैं. जब फीलिंग्स को मैं इंपॉर्टेंस नहीं दे रही, एक्सपैंड नहीं करी, तो फीलिंग बढ़ेंगी नहीं, तो एटलीस्ट न्यूट्रल रहेंगी. एंड धीरे धीरे मैं रिलैक्स हो रही हूँ कि हैं तो हैं, इट्स ओके, I'm okay with it. That means I'm letting it go. Gradually, as you become more and more aware of the changeless witness within, you begin to identify with that level of consciousness. You become progressively primarily the witness rather than the experiencer of phenomena. You get closer and closer to the real self and begin to see that you had been duped by feelings all along. You thought that you were the victim of your feelings. So turn of the page, please. Now you see that they are not the truth about yourself. They are merely created by the ego, that collector of programs which the mind has mistakenly believed a necessity for survival. So अभी तक हम क्या कर रहे थे, अपने आप को विक्टिमाइज कर रहे थे अपनी फीलिंग्स से. अब हमें लग रहा है कि ये तो हम विक्टिम कर रहे थे. वी आर एक्चुअली नॉट दिस, इट्स नॉट द ट्रूथ. दे merely ego, सिर्फ कि मैं नहीं कर सकता या मुझसे पॉसिबल नहीं है. पुरानी प्रोग्रामिंग का एक अक्यूमुलेटेड टास्क है जो मेरे माइंड में हो रहा है. एंड ये सिर्फ मेरी कंडीशनिंग थी कि ऐसे है. The results of letting go are deceptively quick and subtle, but the effects are very powerful. Often we have let go and think that we haven't. It will be our friends who make us aware of the change. One reason for this phenomena is that when something is fully surrendered, it disappears from consciousness. Now, because we never think of it, we don't realize that it has gone. This is a common phenomena among people who are growing on consciousness. We are not aware of all the coal that we have shoveled. We are always looking at the shovel full we are handling right now. That's what I'm saying, na? जो अभी हमने ये बात कही कुछ दिन पहले कि जो हमने खत्म कर दिया, जहां से हम प्रोग्रेस करके आगे आगे आए, उस जर्नी को तो ग्रेटफुल रहे कि हम इतना आगे आ चुके हैं. हमें अभी भी तो प्रॉब्लम है, ये अभी भी तो नहीं कर पाया. काफी कुछ तो कर पाए हो ना. पहले उसका तो शुक्राना करो, धन्यवाद दो, ग्रेटिट्यूड दो फॉर वेयर यू हैव कम. Then you move ahead. We don't realize how much the pile has gone down. Often our family and friends are the first ones to notice. जब एकदम से आपका एटीट्यूड हल्का हो जाएगा, you'll be nicer person, चिड़चिड़ाएंगे कम, बहुत ज्यादा कमेंट नहीं करेंगे, बहुत ज्यादा जजमेंटल नहीं होंगे. एकदम से फैमिली बोलेगी क्या किया यार, बहुत चेंज आ रहा है. आपको रियलाइज नहीं हुआ. People will tell you, your eyes are gleaming. There's some glimmer, there's some shimmer, there's something happening around you. क्या, what is it? What magic is it? हम रियलाइज क्यों नहीं कर रहे हैं? क्योंकि अभी भी शायद हमें इस मामले में ग्रेटफुल होना नहीं आया. बाकी चीजों में तो आ गया. आपकी स्पिरिचुअल जर्नी, उसके लिए भी ग्रेटफुल रहें कि कहां से कहां पहुंचे हैं. सिंपल एग्जाम्पल विल बी, अपने आप को देखकर टेस्ट योरसेल्फ की शॉर्ट टेम्पर्ड अगर आप हैं फॉर एग्जाम्पल, तो पहले मेरा फ्यूज किस में ब्लो होता था, अब कितना कम होता है, टाइम लग रहा है फ्यूज ब्लो होने में. सो ओके, दैट मीन्स आई हैव कम अ लॉन्ग वे, थैंक यू सो मच. ये फ्यूज ब्लो होना भी बंद हो जाएगा बिकॉज I know it. I can do it. Tell yourself this beautiful thing कि I'm on this journey, हो जाएगा. I trust the process of life. सब कुछ अपने time पे होता है. Now, to keep track of progress, many people keep a chart of their gains. This helps them to overcome the resistance that usually takes the form. This isn't working. It is common for people who have made enormous gains to claim this isn't working. We have to remind ourselves sometimes what we were like before we started this process. Resistance of letting go. Now, letting go of negative feeling is the undoing of the ego, which will be the resistant at every turn. This may result in skepticism about technique, forgetting to surrender, a sudden upsurge of escapism, or venting feelings by expressing and acting out. The solution is simply to keep on letting go of the feelings you have about the whole process. Let the resistance be there, but don't resist the resistance. You are free. You don't have to let go. Now, see one thing. We always have a choice. We could do it, we should do it. But we could do it, may we have a choice. We don't have to let go. अगर हमको फीलिंग का रहना है तो stay with it. कोई force नहीं कर रहा है. Nobody is forcing you. Look at the fear behind the resistance. Now, what are you afraid of regarding the process? Are you willing to let go of that fear? Keep letting go of every fear as it arises, and the resistance will resolve. Let's not forget that we are letting go of all the programs that we have made us a slave and a victim for a long, long time. हम सब victimized हो चुके हैं ना with the programming. अब उस victim को तो आपको release करना है ना. एक prisoner में एक जेल में बंद पड़ा है एक कैदी, उसको बाहर निकालने के लिए कुछ मेहनत तो करनी पड़ेगी ना. या आप जेल में रहना चाहते हो all your life? कब उड़ान भरोगे? When will you become that bird? वो कैदी की तरह bird को अंदर पिंजरे में डाला हुआ है. वो दरवाजा खोल के उड़ने के लिए क्या करना पड़ेगा? Let go. इतना सरल है, इतना सिंपल है. बट लेटिंग गो की टेक्निक्स हैं जो हम इस पूरे महीने पढ़ने वाले हैं. एंड बाय द एंड ऑफ दिस एंड बाय द एंड ऑफ एवरी डे कुछ तो नया सीखा है. हमने क्या सीखा है उसकी बारी है. जस्ट कीप थैंकिंग फॉर द जर्नी. अपने माइंड को भी थैंक यू बोलिए कि अरे यू आर लर्निंग टू लेट गो. हाउ ब्यूटीफुल यू लर्निंग. वाओ, व्हाट हैव यू लर्न टुडे? Because when you acknowledge your mind also कि हमने आज क्या सीखा, क्या पढ़ा, you will understand that, oh, I made a progress. Let's not forget we are letting go of all the programs that have made us a slave and a victim for a long, long time. These programs have blinded us to the truth of our real identity. The ego is losing ground and will try tricks and bluffs. Once we start letting go, its days are numbered and its power is diminished. One of the most important tricks is to go unconscious about technique itself. For instance, to decide suddenly that the mechanism of surrender isn't working, things are still the same. It is confusing and too hard to remember and do. That's a real sign of real progress. It means the ego we knows we have a knife with which we've cut ourselves free and is losing ground. The ego is never our friend, ever. It's a master controller. Ego बोलता है I, me, am, I. And इस ego ने ही हमारा बंटाढार किया हुआ है. अगर आज मैं नहीं हूं तो कोई और आ जाएगा ना. क्या बड़ी बात है, किसने बोला I, me and am? किसी भी काम पे करते हुए सोचो कि अगर मैं नहीं हूं तो कौन आएगा? हजारों आएंगे. Nothing in life stays for one person. Everyone is replaceable. So ये ego जो big fat ego आ जाती है, let it go. Letting go is a natural ability. By the way, हमको letting go से born किया गया था. This was a quality हम हमारे अंदर embed की गई थी. हमें कुछ आप आज देखो simple चीज है. We've heard of this 10 million times. अगर हम कितना भी पैसा कमा लें, दो ही तरीके हैं, या तो हम छोड़ दें या हम दे दें. हम पैसे लेकर नहीं जा सकते. इजिप्ट में पहले when they used to bury people, they would put slaves with them, they would put सोना चांदी with them, but डेथ के बाद काम नहीं आता ना. So हमें बॉन्ड किया गया था with letting go. देते रहो, बांटते रहो, बढ़ते रहो, बांटते रहो, बढ़ते रहो. हम लेकिन बांटते ही नहीं ना. आपकी परेशानियां भी बांटते रहो. Just keep letting go. हल्के हो जाओ. Letting go is a natural ability. It is not something new or foreign. It is not like esoteric system or teaching or something else's idea or some other belief system. We are merely utilizing our own inner nature to get freer and happier. When letting go, it's not helpful to think about the technique. It's better simply just do it. Eventually, it will be seen that all thoughts are resistance. There are all images that the mind has made to prevent us from experiencing what actually is. When we have been letting go for a while and have begun experiencing what is really going on, we will laugh at our thoughts. Thoughts are fake, absurd, make beliefs that obscure the truth. Pursuing thoughts can keep us occupied endlessly. We will discover one day that we are right where we started. Thoughts are like goldfish in a bowl. The real self is like the water. The real self is a space between the thoughts, or more exactly, the field of silent awareness underneath all thoughts. Are we clear about this? हमारी थॉट्स हमें हमेशा बिजी रखती हैं. आप किसी भी दिन खाली बैठ के देख लो, खाली भी बैठोगे तो थॉट्स बड़ी सारी आएंगी. एक हिंदी में कहावत है, खाली दिमाग शैतान का दिमाग. बिकॉज बहुत 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 थॉट्स आएंगे, नेगेटिव थॉट्स आएंगे, बिकॉज कुछ करने को नहीं है तो उस समय लाचारी बेचारी, दैट्स व्हाट यू विल फील. बट एक्चुअली वी आर लाइक वाटर. थॉट्स देखो ना कहाँ से कहाँ, दे कीप फ्लोइंग, दे कीप फ्लोइंग. बट हम कहाँ हैं? व्हाट इज रियल सेल्फ? इट्स लाइक हमारा काम ही है टू फ्लो. दैट्स अ बेसिक नेचर. एंड जैसे हम अपनी अवेयरनेस फ्रीक्वेंसी बनाएंगे आसपास, दैट्स व्हाट मैटर्स. साइलेंट अवेयरनेस, साइलेंस. तभी वो साउंड ऑफ साइलेंस आती है ना, यार आप एक पर बैठते हो कि भाई कुछ भी नहीं आता, क्यों? बिकॉज दैट्स व्हाट वी ऑल अबाउट. हम कनेक्ट ही नहीं कर पाते अपने हायर सेल्फ से या परमात्मा से, बिकॉज हमारे दिमाग में क्लटर चल रहा है, थॉट चल रहा है, कैसा होगा फील करके, अरे कैसे होगा, थॉट्स चल रहे हैं. कभी जस्ट लेट देम बी, डोंट एक्सपैंड देम, एंड देन सी द ब्यूटी ऑफ साइलेंस. We are born with it. That's the best part. We have had the experience of being totally absorbed in what we are doing when we scarcely notice the passage of time. The mind was very quiet and we were simply doing what we were doing without resistance or effort. We felt happy, maybe humming to ourselves. We functioned without stress. We were very relaxed, although busy, but we suddenly felt that we are so free. We suddenly realized that we never needed all those thoughts after all. Thoughts are like a bait to a fish. If we bite at them, we get caught. It's best not to bite at the thoughts. You don't need them. ये बहुत सिंपल है. जब लाइफ में कुछ बहुत पसंद है, हम उसको करते टाइम कहाँ चला जाता है पता ही नहीं चलता. गुड इवनिंग विद फ्रेंड्स, 6 घंटे निकल गए, मालूम ही नहीं पड़ा, अरे कहाँ चले गए 6 घंटे, बिकॉज यू सो बिजी हैविंग फन. तब तो थॉट्स नहीं है ना, ऑल यू आर डूइंग इज फ्लोइंग इन लव एंड लाइट. कभी कुछ काम पसंद आता है, पेंटिंग पसंद आती करनी, कहाँ टाइम निकल जाता पता ही नहीं चलता. तो थॉट्स की जरूरत नहीं है हमें, बट थॉट्स ही थॉट्स हैं हमारे पास. दे विल, सो ऑल ऑफ अस आर वर्किंग ऑन लेटिंग गो ऑफ द थॉट्स. Inside of us, but out of awareness, is a truth that I already know everything I need to know. This happens automatically. हम सबको सब कुछ पता है, राइट? हम फिर भी सेशंस कर रहे हैं, क्यों? वापस इन पे लाइट डाल रहे हैं. एक क्लैरिटी आ रही है एक ऑथर्स के थ्रू कि अरे वी नो अबाउट दिस, बट नाउ इट्स बिकम स्ट्रॉन्गर. Paradoxically, one resistance to surrendering is due to the effectiveness of the technique. What happens is, when we keep letting go, when life is not going too well and we are beset by unpleasant emotions. अब समझते हैं कि लाइफ बहुत स्टूपिड चल रही है, सिली चल रही है, अच्छा नहीं चल रही, अब क्या हो रहा है? As we finally surrender our way out of it, all is well, then we stop letting go. This Amir Khan's line, all is well, is so amazing. It's like a simple line of saying, I trust the process of life. All is well, all is well, all is well. Because all is actually well. हमने कुछ भी कर लिया वो बात अलग है. As we finally surrender our way out of it, all is well, then we stop letting go. This is a mistake because as good as we may feel, there is usually more to it. Take advantage of the higher states and the momentum of letting go. Keep on going because it will get better and better all the time. Letting go gains a certain momentum. It's easy to keep it once it's started. The higher we feel, the easier it is to let go. That's a good time to reach out and let go of some things, suppressed and repressed garbage that we shouldn't want to tackle if we were in the dumps. There is always a feeling to let up and surrender. When we are feeling good, the emotions are merely subtler. because you will feel stuck with the particular feeling. So आप अपनी energy देख लो. When you're stuck and when you're feeling bad, how do you feel? Dready, dark, एकदम stuck and body tired, mind tired, एकदम थकान. And when you're happy, oh my God, you can like fly and spring and dance and sing. So that's also about energy. Energy तुम्हारे अंदर बहुत सारी है. When you're feeling lighter, it's because that time you surrendered. You're loving the process and like, wow, it's amazing, it's beautiful. Sometimes you will feel stuck with a particular feeling. बहुत बार एक feeling आएगी जिससे हम stuck feel करेंगे. It's okay. Simply surrender the feeling of being stuck. It's okay, I'm stuck. It's okay. Just let it be there. उससे उसको ये मैं करूँगी मुझे stuck से बाहर निकलना है. Stuck से no, it doesn't matter. अगर disappear नहीं करती, so you can let go of the feelings in bits and pieces. Break it. Okay. And now, अच्छा इस part को I can leave it. Okay, I can feel lighter. Is part where I can feel lighter. Break the entire analogy into 4-5 parts and keep letting go of that part. जब feeling stuck हो जाते हो ना उसको accept करोगे, it's okay है, trust the process of life. फिर भी आप 2 दिन बाद देखते हो कि same feeling है. So break it into 4-5 parts and let go of one part, like one part, one part. Another block that may occur is a fear that if we let go of a desire for something, we won't get it. It's often beneficial to look at some commonly held beliefs and let go of them right in the beginning, such as we only deserve things through hard work, struggle, sacrifice, effort. कितने लोग के break हुए ये वाला line कि हम तभी deserve करते जब हम मेहनत करेंगे, struggle करेंगे, sacrifice करेंगे, effort करेंगे. कितने लोग के beliefs bust हुए अभी तक? You're today 91 days, I think. आज से 30 days बाकी हैं. Yours? Good. A lot of people. Second belief, suffering is beneficial and good for us. कितने लोग का ये bust हुआ कि suffering अच्छा है? Yeah, trust the process of night. Good. We don't get things for nothing. ये कितने लोग का bust हुआ? Good. Yes, a lot has changed with affirmation. Very nice. Fourth, things that are very simple aren't worth much. कई बार simplicity में भी magic मिल जाता है ना? So, letting go of some of these psychological barriers, techniques itself allow an employment of its effortlessness and ease. इसीलिए the power of affirmations is $1 million thing. Stay with it and let go every day. And ये इससे कैसे होगा? Simply practice करना है. Start practicing of letting go. Small things, letting go, let go. Small things, and see how lighter you feel. So इसमें क्या कर रहे हैं हम लोग? We're going to build our muscle. So आज से, can I have a promise from everyone that we'll all start letting go consciously? जब कभी लिखा लगा कि हम लोग बहुत stuck हो रहे हैं, we just let go. Feelings को भी, चीजों को भी. Thank you so much, Akshay. God bless you. Tomorrow we will very positive for everything. Nice, Usha ji. Very, very nice. Excellent. So it's very important for all of us to understand anatomy of our emotions, and tomorrow we will be doing that. But now, life is beautiful. We know we're all blessed. So let's understand what's happening with us, right? All right. Now we move on to our one chapter in the art of creative thinking. So all of us are born creators. That is the reason हम इतने thoughts भी create करते हैं. अब आप बोलेंगे because we are born creators. 86,400 thoughts a day we are creating. So obviously we're creators. Now yesterday we read about कि हमें अपने mind को mind करना चाहिए. जितना हम deep जाएंगे, study करेंगे, analyze करेंगे, उतना मजा आएगा. आज हमें एक बहुत interesting chapter आ रहा है हमारे सामने. Look forward to disappointment. अब कोई बोलेगा why will I look forward to disappointment? ये book ही ऐसी है. इसे captions एकदम उल्टे जाते हैं. Let's understand the science. When Beethoven was young, he struggled to earn a living as a musician, to get married and lead a normal life. When he finally achieved success in his late 20s, he began to lose his hearing. It was his lowest point. एक musician को जिसको music पसंद है उसकी hearing खत्म हो जाए. He sank into deep depression. In the letter, he declares, the most beautiful years of my life must pass without accomplishing the promise of my talent and powers. 6 months later, Beethoven decided, no, I cannot endure it. I will take fate by the throat. I shall not wholly overcome me. Thus began his rise to the summit of his achievements. Do you understand this? Such a beautiful thing. The most beautiful years of my life must pass without accomplishing the promise of my talent and powers. कि मेरे talent और powers के बिना भी मेरी life बहुत beautiful होने वाली है. 6 months later, he decided, no, I can't endure it. I will take fate by the throat. I will not wholly overcome me. कि मैं इसको अपने fate को अपने ऊपर हावी नहीं होने दूंगा. I will challenge it. I will fight it. And then he started achieving. Beethoven overcame the obstacle of his total deafness and transformed into a positive force. He found a way to compose achingly beautiful music. Adversity introduced him to himself. He had to come to terms with his anger and frustration. His music conveys his the self-reflection and self-awareness. He used his compositions to come to a great understanding of himself. Beethoven's music was a healing force for himself and in turn helps us heal our wounds. So कई बार लाइफ में ऑब्स्टिकल्स हमें कुछ सिखाने के लिए आती हैं और अगर रिपीट पैटर्न पे आ रही हैं तो 100% एक लेसन हमने नहीं सीखा है. अंडरस्टैंड कि व्हाट हैव यू कम टू टीच मी. अगर कोई कुछ प्रॉब्लम ऑब्स्टिकल्स आए हैं, रुकावटें आई हैं, रोड ब्लॉक्स आए हैं, व्हाट हैव यू कम टू टीच मी. And go back and quiet, just sit down 3 minutes, close your eyes, take 3 deep breaths and see what's coming your way. Beethoven को प्रॉब्लम आई तो उसने उसको एडवर्सिटी को अपना एडवांटेज में बदल लिया. Beethoven's works are autobiographical and explore his turbulent life. They speak to us in a universal and positive way. Studying Piano Sonata, Opus 110, is about overcoming deafness. बीथोवन ने ऐसा म्यूजिक बनाया विच इज जैसे लुइस हे ने एफर्मेशंस बनाए, बीथोवन ने ऐसा म्यूजिक बनाया जो हील करता है. डू यू नो देयर आर म्यूजिक पीसेस अवेलेबल जो हमारा जब हम बीमार हो जाते हैं अगर हम उसको प्ले करके छोड़े हमारे अंदर से हीलिंग होती है. मैंने कई बार शेयर भी किया हुआ था फर्स्ट सेकंड संगम, आई डोंट नो अबाउट थर्ड. यू जस्ट स्टार्ट हीलिंग. Beethoven reassures us that when everything falls apart, we had the Moonlight Sonata. This Moonlight Sonata, जब सबको लगता है कि दुनिया में कुछ भी नहीं बचा, Moonlight Sonata आता है. Because why Moonlight Sonata? हमने कई बार सीखा है that moon is all about emotions, right? And she helps us channelize our emotions when we surrender. So very important for us to understand that there are things to heal us. If you're thinking massive thoughts, there is this 9th symphony. There is the struggle and triumph of the 5th symphony and the Eroica symphony. Music, and this particularly the piano, was his voice. And through it, it tells us his autobiography. Beethoven reassures us that he overcame his obstacles and so can we. The first time I started playing my piano, after I'd done my 2 years of exams, my teacher taught me Moonlight Sonata. She's like, whenever life goes tough, just close your eyes and play it. And automatically, when I used to play it, energy used to come up. So many ideas come up. So music is healing. They say, right? Music is so beautiful. These 9th and these 5th symphonies are beautiful music pieces, Akshay. And now when you, so in Germany, when people used to go for wars, they would hear this. And then they would come back, then they would hear this. So one is for victory and one is for just, just basically, they're sound healing. They are either, motivating you or they're ensuring you or they're congratulating you or they're telling you. Yes, sound healing तो होता ही gongs वाला होता है ना. If you've heard, there are radiations जो उससे बाहर energy vibrations आती हैं, they heal us. Lots of music healing is there nowadays in today's world. Gong and light shows hote hain. We just lie down and they just play the gong, dung, dung, or through the bowls. These are all musical things, but he started where Beethoven started it in this modern West world. Otherwise, Buddhism में तो ये कब हजारों सालों से पहले से है. So, but music has a vibrancy, a vibration, and it heals. Like Om is a universal sound. It's not an Indian sound. Om is a universal sound. जो इवन कई लोग बोलते हैं कि इंटरनेशनल से भी आपने अगर वो मूवी देखी हो ऋतिक रोशन वाली, उसमें भी वो ओम जो साउंड आती है, इट्स नॉट दैट कि वो इंडिया में आया तो ओम साउंड आए. इट्स यूनिवर्सल साउंड. ओम, आउम, एक्चुअली इट गोज AUM. That's a universal sound. When you are at your lowest, when everything that could go wrong has gone wrong, see it as the best place to begin. We learn more from disappointments from successes than from successes. ये तो पता ही है हमें ना, right? All of us are well aware. Every obstacle we overcome strengthens our confidence to overcome others. When we respond constructively to big crisis, it brings out the inner strength. Pain may be inevitable. Please understand this. Problems आएंगी, pain आएगा, लेकिन we'll all experience loss and heartbreak. But being creative people, we will be able to understand that suffering is optional, just the way Beethoven did. हमें समझ में आ जाएगा on how to tackle it. We'll be able to respond rather than react. That's all that happens in transformation series. And then you see, you have transformed as a person. That आप में power आ गई, क्षमता आ गई कि dream बड़े देख सको, उनको पूरा कर सको. That's what this entire 1-to-1 days is doing for us. There is a time to accept the cards you've been dealt and a time to fight against them. Things always seem to turn out best for those who make the best out of the way things turn out. Beethoven overcame the seemingly insurmountable obstacle of deafness and refused to allow it to destroy him. A creative person always has the ideas, the ambitions, the passions, the memories to support them. Now, this is very important to know. हर क्रिएटिव इंसान के पास आइडियाज होते हैं, एम्बिशन होता है, पैशन होता है, मेमोरीज होती हैं सपोर्ट करने के लिए, बढ़ाने के लिए. Henry David Thoreau says, all misfortune is but a stepping stone to fortune. That is the reason इस चैप्टर का नाम क्या था कि look forward disappointment. Disappointment में आपको नए jewels मिलने वाले हैं. Thank you, Rahul sir. Very important to understand that अगर कुछ negative life में आया तभी भी count your blessings. Ask the negative, what have you come to teach me? Why am I here? What is it that I can learn from here? Very important to ask ourselves questions. When that happens, life is going to be very, very, very magical. Let's see, आज का hard thought क्या है? Let's go for it. Whoever wants can raise a hand. How wonderful. I'm at the center of peace. It is safe to look within. Each time you look deeper into yourself, you're going to find incredibly beautiful treasures within you. Very, very, very beautiful. Yes, actually, let's read it for everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm at the center of peace. The outer world touches me not. I'm in charge of my own being. I guard my inner world, for it is there that I create. I do whatever I need to do to keep my inner world peaceful. My inner peace is essential for my health and well being. I go within and find that space where all is quiet and serene. I may see it as a peaceful, deep, quiet pool surrounded by green grass and tall, silent trees. I may feel it as white, billowy clouds upon which to lay and be caressed. I may hear it as a flowing, delightful music, soothing my senses. However, I choose to experience my inner space. I find peace. At this center of peace, I am. I am the pureness and stillness of the center of my creative process. In peace, I create. In peace, I live and move and experience life because I keep myself centered in inner peace. I have peace in my outer world. Though others may have discord and chaos, it touches me not, for I declare peace for myself. Though there may be madness all around me, I am calm and peaceful. The universe is one of great order and peacefulness, and I reflect this in my every moment of life. The stars and the planets do not need to be worried or fearful in order to maintain their heavenly orbits, nor does chaotic thinking contribute to my peaceful existence in life. I choose to express peacefulness, for I am peace, and so it is.
Beautiful. Absolutely lovely. Thank you, Akshay. All right, so let's meditate. And I think we will intertwine fear and peace together in a meditation. So you can probably name it Fear and Peace. Our back straight, our feet firmly placed on the ground below, our hands in open, receptive pose and kept on our laps, our eyes softly closed, a soft smile on our faces. Let's take a deep breath in, observe your breath. Gently exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Life is magical. Life is about flowing. Life is creative. Let's go deep within to find our being. Let's understand that all of us are here on Mother Earth to realize few dreams, to move on our journey gracefully, wonderfully, beautifully. Many challenges come in our life, and yet we are flowing every single day by embracing them, by accepting that we are fearful, by accepting that it's okay for us to fear. It's okay for us to not be okay. Knowing that the process of life is worth trusting. That Mother Earth is here to second us, to support us. The Father Universe is there to give us whatever we desire. Whenever the going gets tough, the tough gets going. Let's record a beautiful new world of affirmations within our subconscious mind. The mind that is taking in so much. The mind that has learned its way, recorded its programming through ups and downs. Where life has given us so much to learn. Where we've been taught that every misfortune is a stepping stone to fortune, to realizing that we are gifted. With every downfall comes an opportunity to go uphill. We're like the little child that's learning to walk. He or she falls and gets up with a little motivation from the family around who are clapping and shouting and saying, yeah, wow, wonderful. And he's so happy. He's smiling and he's waking up. Again, he drops. Again, he gets up. And finally, after lots of ups and downs, he or she starts walking, taking the baby steps. There's this magical world of love and light. We are that little baby every time a problem comes. We'll fall down. We'll have roadblocks, misfortunes, obstacles, but each one coming to us as a teacher. Each one coming to teach us, to heal us. It depends upon our perspective now. The minute we embrace gratitude, the teachings become magical. The minute we talk about complaint, we go downhill. Are we ready to embrace this world of peace where we are already placed? Where each one of us is in charge of creating a magical life. Where each one of us is ensured that we're divinely guided. Where we know that the world is lovely, magical, peaceful. Where all we have to do is go in a being and accept who we are right now. Knowing that we all are creative beings who are experiencing life, moving from one step to another so magically, so easily. Knowing that our universe is made with so much of beautiful order. The sun never forgets to rise, the moon never forgets to go low, the earth never forgets to rotate. The full moon comes, the new moon comes, and everything is coming at the right time, right order. What are we to fear? Our destiny is marked. How beautifully we want to progress in that journey depends upon us. If we see chaos, that's what we get. If we see peace, that's what we get. Let's reach and go within, deeper within, to enjoy our process, to know who we are, to know how blessed we are, to know that every fear can be given a good ear, to be heard. It's waiting. It's waiting to be just let go. So let's start looking at the fear with our eyes open, with our ears open. And let's hear the fear. The minute you hear, the fear will dissipate. So let's go deep within to understand that we're all becoming the best versions of ourselves. No comparison with anyone, each to their own journey. We are progressing, we are transiting from one planet to another in our mental space, thinking of this planet to be a higher level, thinking this to be like a ladder going up and up and up. Finally, we come to a point where we just see and hear the sound of silence. We enjoy the bliss, we enjoy the peace. Let's know one thing. No matter how helter-skelter and energy is, no matter the humdrum activities feel, we all are centered, balanced, and aligned. The power is within us. Let's go deeper, deeper, and deeper, and take out the jewels and know that I am a powerful being, and my power is love. My power is light, and I am light when I let go. I am love when I love unconditionally, no strings attached. Let's all of us embrace this life of love and light. And let's bow in gratitude towards Mother Earth. Dear Mother Earth, the roots in my soles of my feet and the roots from the lowest part of my backbone are growing in you today. I need more grounding, more balancing, more aligning. And now I'm imagining that my hands are facing you, my palms are facing you. And from my palms, also roots are growing within you, Mother Earth. I relate these 4 points of release of roots into you as the 4 directions in my life: north, south, west, and east. Both my hands, my feet as one composition, and my backbone. I am love. I am light. And I'm absolutely blessed to be nurtured by you with so much of integrity, so many values, so much of love, so much of light, so much of empathy, compassion, oneness. Every day you're blessing me as I am grounded and balanced. I know I'm here to reach the next level, financially, physically, basically, abundantly. But I also know that my roots will never be lost. I'll always be humble, compassionate, and kind, just the way I am. In fact, much, much more than what I am right now. Because every day I'm going to count my blessings and becoming more and more better version of myself. And so it is. Thank you, Mother Earth, for blessing me. Now let's take the roots back in our bodies. Let's feel the roots are coming back in our body by grounding us, balancing us. Feel the roots going back in your hands, back in your feet, back in your backbone. Because ultimately we all have to walk this journey, and we are all grounded and yet whole and complete, unattached, surrendered, and moving in our journey of life. Now, as we're making this walkway into our life, let's thank all the life lessons, all the experiences that have nurtured us, enriched us into who we are. This life or previous lives, we are nurtured, nourished, and empowered. Thank you, thank you, thank you. To our present tense, We are so grateful for our learning. We are so grateful that at this moment we are living in a world of gratitude, of thanking Mother Earth and thanking our life and thanking the universe and thanking existence. Tomorrow has to be magical, that we are assured of. Now let's open our hands to the universe. Thank it. To all the divinities, to all the angels and guardians, to all the teachers, gurus, in this realm or the other, is this dimension or the other, in this planet or another. Thank you, thank you, thank you for showering us with your choicest of best of blessings. We bow down to you with our hands closed, folded. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And feel the cosmic energy traveling through your body, through your Brahmyandra, through your crown chakra, entering your body. Feel the energy. Feel the vibration in your arms, your hands, your gut area, your full body. Feel the energy healing your diseases, taking away all mental barriers, blockages. Each one of us is whole, healed, and complete. And then rub your hands together. Bless your eyes. Open them. And with this knowledge of opening your eyes, bless your mouth, your nose, your body. With open eyes, have a look at all your limbs as you're blessing them. Up and down, your front part of your body, your lower part of your body. Open eyes. Aware that you have a beautiful, thriving body. Aware that you have a beautiful head, that thing that grows, that nurtures itself. And open your hands to bless all sentient beings. Love, light, healing blessings, and wishful abundance. Wish for all the Sangha Mitras, all sentient beings, all beings on Mother Earth. Love and light, Jitendra ji, Akshay, Kamakshi ji, Meenakshi, Vijay ji, Usha ji, Ruchi, Pratima ji, Swati, Shivani, Neha, Anita, Shalu, Richa, Arvind ji, Amit, Veena ji, Rahul sir, Amrita ma'am. Lots of love, lots of light. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see each other tomorrow at 5. But if there are any reflections and questions, please feel free to ask. All right. All right then. Thank you so much.